Hey yo guys, it's time for me to make a video here, just plugging sort of another big weekend in the world of combat sports. If you thought last week was a big weekend for the combat sports, which it was, I mean you had Affliction, its debut show on pay-per-view, you had the UFC Fight Night 14 on Spike TV, and you had Dream on HDNet. Really big weekend there, and you also had Great American Bash, Puerto Rico, WWC, they had their 35th anniversary show. I mean, it was just a big weekend already. You had FIP running a fantastic show from reading the reports. So, I mean, and this weekend is just as big, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. Some stuff maybe you want to check out if you possibly can. Some stuff if you can possibly check out. And, there's some stuff on pay-per-view you may want to check out. Pay-per-view or television you want to check out. So, let me just run it through here. First things first, we got frickin' Ring of Honor Toronto tonight. I expect them to put on a very, very big show because I think Ring of Honor would like to make Toronto one of their main shops along with New York, Philadelphia, or Manhattan, Philadelphia, and Dayton, and Chicago Ridge. I think they would like to make that there. So, I think they're going to put a fantastic show. They've put on a really big card, I have to say that. A pretty good card. I would have expected maybe a couple more, like maybe the tag titles on the line, but with the match they're going with, I can see why you didn't put it on there. I mean, obviously it's highlighted by Nigel McGuinness defending against Kevin Steen, the Ring of Honor World title there. I expect there to be a title change. I expect them maybe to put on their best match that they've had so far. Definitely better, than the stuff they put on Injustice and the other show that I can't remember at this time that they worked on. But I don't see a title change coming, and just because we have a pay-per-view taping the next night and you got Claudio and Nigel, and if you're going to change the belt, and the thing going in there is that Claudio, if he doesn't win that he's going to leave the company, and I just don't see that happening there. So I don't see it. If Kevin Steen's to win the Ring of Honor World title, it'll be in November when Ring of Honor goes to Montreal, which is another city I think they could make a big killing at too. So that's just my thoughts there. We have a tag team match, a no DQ tag match. It'll be Jay Briscoe and Austin Aries versus the Age of the Fall. This one will just be it'll go everywhere. It'll kind of be like what you saw last year with the Briscoes and Steen Jericho, just all over the place. But this match may be made into a six-man tag since Mark Briscoe is about to make his return. His wrist is fully healed. He's about to get back in the ring, and he's about to do his thing here. And then Age of the Fall would add the Necro Butcher, which would very, very interesting since what Austin Aries recently did, saying that Jimmy Jacobs doesn't care. It would be just very interesting if they add that to there. And, the only other match I'm really going to tell you about, I mean, yeah, you got Claudio and Bryan Danielson. That'll be a technical masterpiece. One of the more underrated matches on this show that I'm looking forward to is Roderick Strong versus Naomichi Marufuji. I think that could maybe be match of the night, and don't be surprised if it is, because Strong is probably right now one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it's very underrated. He's very underrated. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Him and Eric Stevens have their game. I believe Eric Stevens is going to be taking on Go Shiozaki too, and that'll be very interesting as what transpired last weekend in FIP with Go, turning heel on Eric Stevens and, setting up him to be the #1 contender for the Full Impact Pro Heavyweight Championship. And the other match I think that's very important is Delirious versus the debuting Kenny Omega. Ring of Honor officials have been very hot on Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is one of the best in the independents right now. If you haven't seen him, go get some copies of Jersey All Pro DVDs. He's the current heavyweight champion in Jersey All Pro, so you probably want to check him out. I think Delirious is the perfect opponent for him. I think him and Delirious will put on a great match. It should be the opener. I would have this as your opening contest. It'll just get the crowd hot, and it'll show how great of an athlete Kenny Omega is. And, it's going to give something Delirious to do. I probably would expect after the match, we'll probably lose clean here, and you bring out Red Titus and just etc., etc. Moving over to the world of mixed martial arts. I mean, yeah, and also, I guess in wrestling here, you got AAA. They're coming to the United States of America to run 2 shows in San Jose, California on Saturday and Sunday in Los Angeles, California. It'll just be interesting to check out because you get to see your former WCW stars and Conan, and, you get to probably one of the best tag teams in the world right now in the Hart Foundation 2.0 of Teddy Hart and Jack Evans. You get to see Mexican sensation Zorro, El Zorro. I mean, I would just go check it out if you live in California and you get the chance to. Yeah, HP Pavilion and Los Angeles Sports Arena is where they are, if you're wondering. But then moving to mixed martial arts, not a big weekend for them, really. They got one show. We got the return of Elite XC to CBS. And, you know, it's not going to draw maybe a casual fan. I don't think they pushed it to the degree they should have compared to the first one. And this one doesn't have a big variety cast of characters like Kimbo Slice and Gina Carano, which I think will hurt the card. But if you're a true MMA fan, and if you watch the first one, you know, it's highlighted by this big card at the rematch of Scott Hands of Steel Smith versus Robbie Ruthless Lawler for the middleweight title. I hope there's no finger poke of doom in here. But really, I don't see Scott Smith getting the victory. I see him, you know, maybe winning a round, at least maybe the first round. But I just see Lawler being too tenacious and realizing, you know, I don't want to make any mistakes here. I want to end this one quickly, and I think he will probably do that. Also here we got Nick Diaz. He's going to be making his hometown return. I forget who his opponent is right now, but you know, if he wins, this will set up him a lightweight title shot against his arch rival right now, which is KJ Noons, which hopefully they put on the next CBS show in October, because that would draw huge considering what happened at the last Elite XC show on Showtime and the Fight Network, where there was a big pull-apart brawl. You know, that's really interesting. And it looks like they're going to be setting up a #1 contender match for Gina Carano at the next Elite XC show in October, or, you know, crowning the first women's champion. And I'm expecting this to be a good card here. And on the undercard, on the prelims, you're not even going to get to see it. They're crowning the vacated Elite XC Heavyweight Champion in Silva versus Antonio Silva. Silva. I believe it's Bigfoot. I can't remember. Yeah, Silva. He's going to be taking on, I forget his opponent's name, but I know they're going to count having that. And I just see Silva. I mean, Silva, he had a big contest against Rico Rodriguez, who's a much tougher opponent than his current opponent now, so that's where I see this one going. And moving over, finally, to the world of boxing. Yes, boxing. They have probably one of the most highlighted fights of maybe the year, since, you know, boxing has drifted off, maybe because, you know, it's the heavyweight division always highlights the show, but, or the sport itself. You know, that division has gone to the shitter easily. But they have one of the better fights coming up this Saturday. This Saturday will be for the welterweight title as Miguel Cotto defends against Antonio Margarito. This fight should be fantastic. I mean, everyone's talking about it, as I'm here now telling you about it. Really, this one will be a great fight, because if you know the history between Puerto Rico and Mexico in boxing, you're going to get some fantastic fights. Margarito's looking to prove that he belongs up top, and he's been ducked by top competition. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's ducked him, Sugar Shane Mosley has ducked him, so, you know, Margarito's looking, hey, I belong here, and I should have maybe, you know, had my chance at the title here. And Margarito, he's learned how to start a lot quicker. When he lost to Paul Williams, you know, he didn't get a good start in there, and he got behind quick, and then he started to come back, but it was too little too late. So, you know, he's learning how to start fast. And brawler now, a brawler type to Cotto, who's the more boxer, and you know, he's going to be looking for a devastating body shot, since Kermit Cintron will tell you about how devastating Margarito's body shots are. And you know, he's going to be looking to work on the body, get a maybe, you know, and if he has to get in there and make it a brawl, he can take a shot to the chin. Whereas Cotto, on the other hand, who is the welterweight champion here, he is actually improved on his boxing abilities and his boxing defense here. He's becoming a great defensive fighter here. I mean, this man outboxed Sugar Shane Mosley in his last fight. I mean, that is just something that you don't normally see. This big draw got absolutely annihilated in boxing ability by Miguel Cotto here. So, you know, I expect if you make this one a boxing fight, Cotto will defend and retain. But if it's going to turn into a brawl, and I think it will, because I think Margarito is going to come out to you strong, since he's the Tijuana Tornado, and you know, he's going to turn it into the style of fight he wants, and hopefully Cotto can just defend himself here and, you know, turn it to the fight he wants. But overall, I think it's a clash of two styles meshing, and it'll work here. And as I said, it's, you know, Puerto Rico versus Mexico, you normally get there, and you know, it's Margarito showing that he belongs up in the echelon, and you know, to be a top guy, as he's been, you know, kind of held down and ducked by the top competition. And, you know, Cotto, he's here to show that, hey, I'm the new guy in the welterweight division. Floyd Mayweather left. It's me. I'm going to run things here. But, you know, that's just it for me. I think it's another great weekend. I think if you're going to spend the money on something all weekend, or maybe even all year in any sport, I would probably plunk down my money to see this Cotto Margarito fight. Elite XC on free TV. And you know, if you live in California or if you're living here in Toronto, Ontario, go check out Ring of Honor, go check out AAA. They're running big shows. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.